lens, EDOF lens from Rayner company, and these are my early results. See, monovision concept has always been there ever since the time the spectacles were invented. And many of us, when we are not using glasses and trying to use one eye for near and one for distance, we are in a sense using a monovision concept to some extent. But it was really taken to a new level when for a high myope with contact lens usage, it was practiced, and many patients still exist who are successful contact lens wearers where monovision is used with a lot of comfort. But we know that monovision, the traditional conventional monovision has their own issues, and that's the reason now we have the same thing, that has come in a new way. Now, EDOF lenses is a new kid on the market. It's going to replace monofocal lenses totally because of beautiful properties it has. By means of diverse optical mechanism, they improve intervision vision and to certain extent near vision, causing minimal photic phenomena which are seen with multifocals. And within the broad concept of EDOF lenses, some EDOF change patients' aberrometric profile, while others work on wavefront profile of the lens surface, while still others work on refractive zones of the lens, and all of them seems to be achieving what they really wanted. Now, this is a vision that anybody of us who is past 40 would ever wish to have, although it's always there when you are 25, 30, and we don't realize it. Now, these EDOFs, they occupy a space between monofocals and multifocals to provide relatively greater spectacle independence. Speaking about this RayOne lens, this is on the same platform that most of the Rayner lenses are. It's a biocompatible hydrophilic acrylic material. Some of the features that worth mentioning are the Amon-Apple enhanced 360-degree edge, because of which the PCO is definitely low, and the anti-vaulting haptic technology for excellent stability, which also goes in favor of this lens. And it has got excellent injector, which also has one of the tiniest and narrowest nozzle of 165. That means through a sub 2.2, you can very comfortably inject this lens. Now, talking about the lens in particular, it's a unique solution that RayOne has come out with. It uses patented non-diffractive optic profile, enabling wider depth of field with reduced dysphotopsia, shorter neuroadaptation, practically no neuroadaptation required, it's quickly adopted, reliable outcomes, high patient satisfaction, and of course improved affordability. The key elements are, it's an aspheric anterior surface with unique inner optic design. It used controlled positive spherical aberrations in the center to extend the depth. And the blended edge region reduces longitudinal spherical aberrations, which helps in maintaining visual acuity and contrast under low light conditions. And because it is diffraction free, there is reduced dysphotopsia. If you know, and if all of us know that this is a huge difference between standard multifocal and a monofocal, then this monovision RayOne lens would almost give us a vision like a monofocal. So naturally, when you are considering press myopia correcting solution, what are the things we look for? We want a smoother blended transition, unlike in the conventional monovision. We would want increased regional vision, increased range of functional vision. Obviously, we would want reduced dependence on the pupil, because even if the lens slightly decenters, if the EDOF effect is going to get reduced, we do not want it. And because of that ability, your basket of indications for a lens also increase. There has to be reduced tilt and decentration when you implant a lens, and it should obviously complement the eye's natural positive spherical aberration, because that is what gives you increased depth. And most of these features are achieved when you use a lens like EMV. Just to put it simply how this works, if you look at a standard monofocal, it will only give you the distance, and when you use this EMV, what happens is it gives you distance as well as quite a bit of intermediate. And if you play with little micro mono, and that micro mono is to the extent of 0.4 to 0.5 myopic, if you do an offset of 1 diopter, you almost reach in the RayOne to a comfortable reading, and that's the biggest advantage of this. And this is one of the earliest and maybe the only lens specifically optimized for monovision. It's more forgiving of missed target refraction because of broader refractive landing spot. And the positive spherical aberration of the eye is enhanced by this lens for better depth. It has smoother blended transition between dominant and non-dominant eye, maintaining binocular stereo acuity and reducing SNOPR, which is missing in a conventional monovision. And even with an offset of 0.75 to 1, the non-dominant eye will still contribute to distant vision, which doesn't happen with conventional. And these were the results of 43 eyes that we did. I'll take only a minute, sir.
There is time. You have time, sir.
Okay, so we did 43 eyes, and out of that, if you compare pre-op and post-op, post-op median IQ was 0 spherical, cylinder was also 0, spherical equivalent was minus 0.25, and add that required was 1.25. If you looked at the post-op visual acuity, the uncorrected was 0.2 on log mark, uncorrected near visual acuity was N6 in 48%, and uncorrected intermediate vision almost 87% had N6, 9% had N8. And finally, the uncorrected intermediate visual acuity by percentage was almost 87% N6 and 9% N8. And uncorrected near visual acuity by percentage was almost 48% got N6. Where in my practice, we had only tried for around minus 0.5 for the non-dominant eye. Here you cannot define a non-dominant eye because the second eye that was operating, and this was a defocus curve. So the protocol we followed was we calculated the IOL bord, selected IOL bord for OS and OD considering the target refraction. We chose emmetropia closest to 0 for the dominant eye, and we chose IOL bord of around minus 0.5 for the other eye. And in the first few cases, obviously you have to look at your A constant personalization. So these were very promising results in my early series of 42 cases. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now, our next speaker is